love with your fantasies. I can be a star, make a sky so bright. Welcome to my dungeon, this is ecstasy. Let me play the fantasy.
What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Asia.
And it's your boy BJ, and we back like we never left. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and supporting our channel while we jump into some politics today. We're going to be checking out a video. This is a video of Larry Elder talking about the only reason why Kamala Harris was vice president. The reason why she became vice president. I would like to hear this because I would definitely like to hear this because I know her track record, like in regards to just like her as a district attorney, attorney general. Like if you go back and look at her record, like she has some bad things in her record that even I was just like, wow. I was kind of taken back. Yeah. Once they kind of dug into exactly kind of what her record was in regards to the state of California.
Well, that's funny you should say that because I was just watching something earlier today and she said that she was proud of what she had done.
Of her record?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
So perhaps like it's misunderstood?
Maybe there's some misinformation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this video. You ready?
Yeah. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join the family, and let's jump into it.
All right.
So no one outside of her own neighborhood had ever heard of Kamala Harris before she showed up as Willie Brown's girlfriend. Then a few years later, she became Montel Williams' girlfriend. Interesting.
Long before she met Doug Emhoff, she dated some prominent men, including in 2001, former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi.
Kamala Harris. It's interesting that tape never played anywhere.
I didn't know that.
They going all the way back to this. And I did not know that either in regards to Montel Jordan dating Kamala Harris. I did not know that. Okay. This is new news to me.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same.
It's interesting that tape never played anywhere before the election. I mean, it would have made a difference, but it would have been nice to know. Anyway, as you know, Kamala Harris somehow went on to become a senator and then the vice president of the United States. Now, she accomplished all of that without really any support from actual voters. We know that because there's a lot of polling on it. Virtually no one in California, her home state, for example, supported her presidential campaign. And now currently she's an approval rating of 28%, right around Jeffrey Dahmer's approval rating. Why? I don't know. Moments
he
like
didn't have to say Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, Lord. Oh.
She would tell the story about how so they're marching. And this is back when strollers didn't really have armrests and seatbelts. So they're marching away and, you know, shouting and all of that. And then I think it was my Uncle Freddie, you know, looked down and looked in the stroller, which was empty. And said, "Where's Kamala?" And apparently they left me like a block behind. I'd fallen out the stroller. There you go. And then my mother would tell a funny story about how, like one day and I was fussing and you know, and so I'm fussing and fussing. It's much cuter when she would tell the story, but she'd say, so then she would look down at me and Kamala, what do you want? What do you want? And I looked back up at her and I said, freedom.
It's just fascinating watching that, how transparently false it is. It's like everyone went along with what everyone could tell was a lie. It's interesting. So Larry Elder is from California. In fact, he just ran for governor of California. We strongly supported him in that. He's a radio host there. He joins us tonight to assess Kamala Harris. Larry Elder, great to see you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
You've watched Kamala Harris for years. What do you make of this?
Right.
One second. Did he say the story she was just telling about from her mom was not real? Was a fake story? Is that what he said?
I don't think that's necessarily what he said, but he was just saying in the context that she put the story, it didn't sound completely believable, especially when she said freedom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even want to go there in regards to the freedom thing. Okay. Not with Kamala.
All right.
Assess Kamala Harris. Larry Elder, great to see you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
You've watched Kamala Harris for years. What do you make of this?
Right.
It's baffling to me.
Well, it is baffling because if you look at it on paper, Tucker, she's a pretty successful politician. She ran for and got elected Attorney General in California, beating out her competition. She ran for and got elected Senator, beating out her competition. And then she had this disaster run as Vice President. And as you pointed out, even people in California didn't support her. You know, the key to being a successful politician, having been one for 8 weeks, a couple of things. It is authenticity and likability. And she has neither. And part of it is because you look at things like her record as AG. She was known as a soft on crime, hard on crime AG. And then she got kind of busted during the debate with Tulsi Gabbard when she pointed out that she prosecuted marijuana offenders.
Yeah, they kind of label her as a progressive prosecutor, or she even labeled herself as a progressive prosecutor. Because I've even seen that in regards to like non-violent offenders, like she put a lot of people in prison for the marijuana, and then she went on to the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the Guy was asking her about like marijuana and did she ever smoke. She was
I
like,
remember seeing that.
She said, yeah, I tried it before and I inhaled, and she laughed and did all these extra things in regards to it.
She sure did.
Yeah, she did.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, definitely like trying to be like a successful politician, you have to have support from your own state.
Yeah.
And I feel like her track record kind of followed her into politics where they weren't giving her that kind of support.
Okay.
Possession, but offenders, dealers, and then joked about marijuana on a radio program. She also bragged that she was the last person in the room when Joe Biden made the decision to pull out of Afghanistan, which meant she's part of that decision. And the only reason, in my opinion, she became vice president is because she checked all the boxes. The Democrats in this woke era are no longer going to have 2 white males on the ticket. It's got to be at least a person of color, hopefully a person of color who's a female. So she checked all the boxes and has proven itself to be basically utterly incompetent. They're now backbiting. She's even accused, or at least one of her staffers has accused Joe Biden of being racist. So she's not unwilling to pull the race card in order to defend herself. And that's offended a lot of people. You played her laugh. She has this cackle that a lot of people just find off-putting. When she gets into a tough position, when she doesn't have an answer for something, when somebody corners her, she reverts to this silly laughter. And
He's talking about the cackle. I've heard a couple times with the cackle.
Dang.
No, Larry Elder is spot on with it. Like I said, he's a representative. You know, he ran in California for governor, so he kind of knows a little bit, probably a little bit more than most people probably know in regards to like Kamala. So, I mean, I feel like he's speaking facts so far in regards to just in regards to like her likability, because you do have to be likable, and at the same time, especially when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with the masses and you're dealing with just people that want to vote for you, like you got to be authentic. You know, you got to have some type of authenticity to you. And I find with a lot of like politicians, I don't find the authenticity. That's why sometimes I can't stand or root for certain candidates because of the authenticity factor. I think the authenticity for me is probably like paramount. That's paramount for me.
Yeah.
You know, definitely.
Yeah.
And it just angers people. And Tucker, if I can say one more thing, it's not fixed in stone. The good news for her is that 2024 is a mile away, and as you know, that's an eternity in politics, and you can change that. Ronald Reagan was perceived by all of us who knew him as a sunny, optimistic guy, but a lot of Democrats didn't feel that way until he was shot. And here he is, the most anger he could summon against his would-be assassin was with that guy's beef. And as he's being wheeled to the operating room, he tells the doctors, I hope you guys are all Republicans. And he told Nancy Reagan, I forgot to duck. And people said, wow, he really is genuine. He really is likable. So it's possible to change it. But given Kamala Harris's numbers, given her track record, given this laugh, given the way she's run away from her record as being tough on crime, she had the most left-wing voting record, more left-wing than Bernie Sanders. And then position herself as a centrist. Sometimes she says she's a black woman when she ran. Sometimes she says she's an Asian Indian woman when she ran out here in California. So she's perceived to be utterly inauthentic and utterly unlikable.
Yeah, I'd rather have Willie Brown any day. And I don't agree with Willie Brown, but at least he's a real person. No, I did very nicely put. Right. Larry Elder. Thank you.
Wow.
You know, me, like personally, again, just going back to like when Joe Biden and Joe Biden chose her as his vice president running mate. Even when she kind of came to the forefront, and I started seeing like her track record, and people start bringing up the things in California that she kind of like nixed in regards to like people trying to like being on death row, or it was like people on death row that she could have like did some extra things for in regards to like running like DNA tests, or maybe getting some different prosecutors in.
Yeah.
And she completely like ignored it.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
We're talking about people on death row. I can't remember the guy's last name.
She absolutely had to produce like some type of evidence or something to to put forward
to turn it over. Until people put pressure on her to finally do it, and then she did it. But other than that, she literally was about to send a man that could have possibly been innocent to death row and killed him. And the track record speaks for itself, just in regards to like so many different things. And I've also heard other people call her a centrist.
What is that though? I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Well, a centrist, and then she also labeled herself as a progressive prosecutor. I guess she's going like the extra length to prosecute, or just kind of doing things that's like out of the norm. Trying to be more aggressive in prosecuting and things of that nature. Oh. Because she has put a lot more people, incarcerated a lot more people, especially for like nonviolent crimes, especially like those with the marijuana offenses and stuff too. Wow. And not just that, but not allowing them to have like shorter sentences, even though more evidence could have came up, or certain reform, like things like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably what kind of carried on and kind of followed her all the way up until the presidency.
Man.
Where a lot of people had like a bad taste in their mouth about Kamala Harris, because at first I didn't know anything about her. I was just like, okay, they got a black woman that's running with Joe Biden. He chose a vice president. They chose her, but then I was like, okay, let me kind of check into her. I caught up on the cackle. I did catch the cackle because
I feel like that was more of a strategic move. If I'm being completely honest, like my first thought was like, oh, okay.
Instead of trying to have two white people,
you didn't want to have another white person in there with you. I mean, and not to make it sound bad, but you strategically chose a black person, a black woman at that to be the vice president.
That's
as a strategic move. Yeah, like it was more. Yeah, it was strategic. Like, because other than that, I didn't really find a lot of reasons as to why he would choose her. Of all the candidates that he did have, I didn't understand why he chose.
I know that came out of left field, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously she's just a senator.
She's a woman, and she's a black woman at that, and I was just like, okay, clearly there's an objective here, because I didn't even believe it. If I'm being honest, I didn't. And
maybe her track record in regards to how she prosecuted kind of fell in line with like the Democratic Party's kind of how they're aligned in regards to like prosecution and that mindset.
Yeah.
Maybe she like he said, she checked the boxes for them, so that's why they felt like she was a clean enough candidate for them to put her as vice president with Joe Biden.
Whew.
I definitely wanted to hear like Larry Elder's take in regards to like Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to hear that.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what y'all got to say.
He has some very, very strong opinions and drop some facts too.
I mean, but if you think about it, like you said, you go back and look at the track record. I'm just curious to know what everyone else thinks about, her being as vice president, her likability factor, her authenticity. Now here I go.
You got it.
Authenticity,
How authentic she is.
What people, really think and believe of her, because just everything that I've heard, especially when it comes to like the amount of people, when it comes to her criminal background and putting people in behind bars and prosecution, it's like I don't know if I could be proud of something like that.
Even me as an African American, it makes me feel appalled, to a degree. Yeah.
That's concerning.
And I just have to be honest with it. It definitely had me appalled when I started actually reading and kind of checking out exactly what her track record was and some of the things that kind of came up in regards to like death row, in regards to like the nonviolent crimes, marijuana offenses.
Yeah.
Just prosecution, just heavy prosecution at all costs. I'm gonna prosecute at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about this down in the comment section as well.
It's heavy, y'all. It's heavy.
Yeah, I know y'all.
It's heavy on the levy.
So if y'all enjoyed this video, be sure you give us a big thumbs up.
Definitely.
Like, comment, subscribe, smash the notification bell, join the family. And if ain't nobody else told you, I love you. And we're going to see y'all in the next video, y'all.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate y'all.
Bye.